Hey everybody, this is TyCasts coming at you with the first match of the round of 16. This is going to be Mini versus Light, a Protoss versus Terran match, really high level players, and it's going to be the first match of Group A of the round of 16. Mini is actually the champion from the previous season, so we're in for a bit of a treat of a PVT here. Light is definitely no slouch. He's probably, you know, widely considered maybe the #1 or #2 Terran in the world right now. You know, in the absence of Flash. Flash is in the military service. Mandatory military service for the Korean Army, and you know, he was pretty much this untouchable Terran, always considered the best Terran in the world. But now that Flash is not on the scene at the moment, these other Terrans are able to take the spotlight a little bit, and Light is definitely one that can give Flash a run for his money in terms of, you know, the #1 Terran player right now. Alright, so we got Light. He's got his spawning position up there in the top right hand corner, and Mini down here on the bottom right. So Mini is a really interesting Protoss player. Not only is he the, you know, the champion from last season, but he's really somebody who is kind of innovating the way that Protoss plays and kind of like setting the meta almost. I know in particular his Protoss versus Zerg is very innovative and very successful. Opting for, you know, more greedy and aggressive plays, not really relying on cannons very much, but opening with gateway expand builds. So I'm eager to see what he's got in store here for Light. I know during the group selection, Mini was exuding a lot of confidence. He kind of picked his group. He picked Light first, actually, in terms of who he wants to be in his group. And so when you pick Light, that means that when you pick somebody, you want to play them. You know, you want them in your group. And Light was, you know, he's definitely not a player that most people would want to face early on in this tournament because he's just such a strong Terran player. But Mini, he made a comment that he wanted to fill his group with strong opponents, so that you know, so that if he takes them out this early in the tournament, then he's got a clear shot for being a finalist again. That's a really interesting thought. Alright, so we have a pretty standard gateway into Cybernetics Core opener for Mini, and on the other side here, Light is going for a 1 barracks expansion. So pretty standard so far. We got Cybernetics Core spinning, and Light sees that, so that's got to be Dragoon range. Not a single fighting unit out for the Protoss quite yet. He's going to be popping out a Dragoon here pretty soon. And Light throws down that engineering bay block at the natural expansion of Protoss. So that's pretty annoying, but that first Dragoon has come out, and he's going to start taking out that engineering bay, so we should get that cancelled soon enough. Yep. Bunker going down for Light. You know, the front of Light's base there is kind of interesting. I'm not quite as well versed in this matchup as I'm a Zerg player, but I feel like I haven't really seen, you know, if we get another shot of the expansion there, I feel like I haven't really seen that type of wall where you have your barracks and supply depot kind of creating a wall like that. I don't know, maybe it's standard. Alright, Mini pokes forward with that single Dragoon, doesn't see much because there's a bunker position forward there to kind of push back any bunkers or any Dragoons. That initial scouting SCV is making its way back into Mini's base. Mini's got a Dragoon there to intercept it and take it out. So that scouting SCV didn't get to see much. He didn't get to confirm, critically, he didn't get to confirm that Mini is putting down a Nexus. The Nexus is pretty standard, but if he didn't confirm it, then Light has to be just a little bit concerned about the potential for some kind of a one base, you know, all-in attack. Here comes these Dragoons. They're going to start mounting a little bit of pressure on the front of the Terran base. 2 Dragoons are currently there. A third one's coming across the map, starting to shoot at that bunker. And, you know, Dragoons with range outrange a bunker, so the bunker can't fight back. And all the Terran can really do here is put SCVs there to repair the bunker. This is pretty common. Three Dragoons have come into range now, and now, you know, what you have to do as the Terran here is match the number of Dragoons with equal numbers of SCVs to repair it, or else the bunker's gonna go down. Oh, a quick DT is actually fielded here from Mini, so that's a bit of a tech choice. But we can see that Light already has a turret positioned kind of in the center of his natural base there. First tank gets out and starts to shoot those Dragoons to prevent further damage to the bunker. Mini's gonna try to poke forward with these. He's actually accumulating a couple DTs. 2 DTs coming forward with the Dragoons, and they're gonna snipe. They're gonna attempt to snipe that turret. And the tank is blocking the position, but the DTs take it down really fast. Second tank goes down, the DTs have made it up the ramp, and this is an absolute disaster for Light. 2 DTs and no detection. Light is just, he's really quickly trying to put up turrets, and he's trying to block that DT from killing the turret with the SCVs, but he's trying to mass repair the turret. Can he repair it in time? Glitching the DT. Okay, oh my god, this is pretty crazy. I think he's averted a potential disaster here with some amazing, you know, flustered SCV control, and the Vulture immediately cancels that turret in the mineral line because the crisis has been averted. These speed Vultures are laying down some mines to prevent any more run-bys, and they're gonna try to get out here onto the map. Mini is just he's just massing DTs. This is definitely not common. This is pretty crazy what we're seeing here out of Mini, and he's doing it all out of, I think, just 2 gateways. One in his main and one in his natural. Third base going up for Mini, and those Vultures scouted out. The Vultures are trying to retake map control here with spider mines and with their superior speed. Mini's got probably like 4 DTs on the map. It looks like they're retreating back to the main base now. But Light has kind of wrestled map control back into his own hands with these spider mines and these Vultures. We see that Mini has put up a pylon wall to prevent Vultures from getting into his main base. Ooh! These DTs running into one of the mines, but they come back to try to take out these Vultures. Alright, I think this Vulture harassment is kind of at its end here. He takes that last one and puts it over there by the third base of Protoss. He's able to prevent any mining from the Protoss at that third base for now, but critically he has not really taken out many probes with this Vulture harass. What he has done is force the DTs back and wrestle back some map control. And with that, it looks like he's taking a forward position with some tanks and Marines, and he's trying to put up a turret at the front of his base there, most likely because he wants to secure that third base position. And I think I see on the mini-map that Light has constructed a command center down towards the bottom of his main base that he's just lifted up right now and floating over to that third base. We see shuttle and robotics-based technology coming out from Mini, so it looks like he wants to follow up this DT opener with some drops. Let's see if he actually wants to go into some Reavers, but for now it looks like just speed shuttle is the play. That command center has landed on that third base location, and now the game is slowed down just a little bit as these players take their third bases and start their mining. You know, when those DTs got in earlier, I thought Light was kind of finished, but he handled that with that kind of emergency. He handled it really well, and now we're getting into a 3-base versus 3-base position. You know, Light really showing his ability to stay cool under pressure. 2 comsats go down on Mini's base, kind of lighting up everything. He sees the shuttle tech and the number of gateways, as well as the probe saturation at both bases there. Siege tanks are in position. And Mini is kind of pushing forward with some observers, trying to get some map vision. Yep, the Reaver has come out as well as 2 Zealots, so that shuttle is making its way across the map. I can imagine that shuttle speed is probably being researched right now and might be finished by the time he gets to the Terran base. So we got 1 Reaver and 2 Zealots in that shuttle. Alright, right there, looks like shuttle speed just finished, and Mini is taking a wide path to the natural base of Terran. Excuse me, I had to take a drink of water there. Alright, Mini is pushing forward these 5 Dragoons. He's probably trying to take a little bit of attention away from this drop that's coming in here. Here comes the drop. Turrets aren't in place, and he's going to let off those 2 Zealots first. The shuttle gets taken down, but the Reaver makes it. There's no siege tanks there. 1 siege tank is sieging up a second one, and the shuttle gets 2 shots off. I'm sorry, the Reaver gets 2 shots off and is able to kill 1 of the siege tanks. Those 2 Zealots are still alive in the mineral line, trying to take out some more SCVs. I think the first Scarab also took out an SCV or 2, so you know, decent damage, but he did lose the shuttle. Probably not quite as much damage as he was hoping for. A second shuttle has been built here, and Mini is actually getting into High Templar pretty quickly, choosing not to stay on that Reaver technology for very long, but it looks like he's loading up like 4 High Templar in that shuttle, which is pretty crazy. I'm eager to see if he's planning to do some kind of a storm drop, or if that's just to kind of hide the... Damn, you know, he's got 3 speed shuttles here. Actually, he's going for like some... It's like a mass drop play. See, Mini really is one of these players that does... he likes to take these strategies and then push them to a bit of an extreme to try to see if he can throw his opponent off guard and just take the game in that way, and he's so good at it. I mean, he's season 12 ASL champion, so this kind of play that he's doing is definitely, like I said, it's not common, but he's a bit of a trendsetter. 3 speed shuttles coming in here. Remember, there's 4 High Templar in there. Here they come. That first shuttle takes a couple missile turret shots, but it gets killed, and a huge Psystorm goes off on the mineral line there. The remaining, a second Psystorm, a third Psystorm goes off in the main mineral line and takes out pretty much every SCV that Light has in the main base. Oh my god, that's a lot of economic damage. He did use 3 shuttles for it, and they were full of High Templar and Zealot, but he has done... Oh, and then even another Psystorm goes off. That one... It doesn't get any SCVs, but it does kill the tank. There's still 2 High Templar in that shuttle, and he's really, like, he's still present with this drop, even though the Terran has his entire army trying to defend this, and Light is in frustration. He is marching across the map with his gigantic tank vulture army. He's made it halfway across the map already. Mini sees this with his ground army, Zealots and Dragoons, trying to delay this monstrous push that's coming down. He forced a siege out of Light, but I think Light he's saying to himself, I have taken too much economic damage and I need to make something happen, or else I'm just going to be too far behind. So Light is taking an aggressive forward position with these siege tanks. Mini is trying to sidestep the Terran army Or he's trying to get a better angle on it. Yes, he's trying to get a better angle on. Now he's engaging. Psystorm. High Templars are in those shuttles, and they get a great storm off of the tanks. Here's two Reavers that are trying to intercept the reinforcements of the Terran. Oh man, that was really scary. There were a bunch of mines there, and a DT tried to drag the mines into the tanks. Wow, this is Light has taken an incredible position right in front of the Protoss base. With I don't know, that must be like 18 siege tanks or something like that. A really strong number of siege tanks that would chew through any Protoss army. And now Light is threatening the natural as well as the third base. Mini is positioning for a bit of a flank here. And he's producing speed zealots, trying to drop the zealots. He's dropped the zealots on that contingent of tanks at the bottom there, forcing some friendly fire. Oh my god, that huge number of tanks has been just reduced to almost nothing. Mini is handling this like the champion that he is. Zealots rushing forward. That flank of Protoss units has not even come in yet, and now it's coming in to try to end this game. Basically tell Light, you know what, you're done with this attack. Speed shuttles are moving forward once again to rain those zealots down on those siege tanks. Light is trying to do the best he can by unsieging the tanks so that they don't splash each other. But Mini's control here is just it's just flawless. Light, I saw Light do 2 scans at the bottom left there to confirm that Mini has that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base now at the bottom left-hand corner. I almost thought he was going to GG right there, but you know, we are in the round of 16, so I think Light, even though Light probably knows he's in a terrible position, he wants to put his best foot forward and try to come back in this game. Vultures still trying to maintain some kind of map presence here, coming forward, laying some lines in front of the Protoss base, but there are Dragoons everywhere, and they're able to prevent any economic damage from happening. A couple Dragoons get split off from the main force to take out these Vultures at the top, bottom left-hand corner there, excuse me. And we see a 50 supply advantage for the Protoss right now. You know, despite all the things that Mini has done right, and Light has, I wouldn't say done wrong, but just has kind of gotten himself into somewhat of a disadvantageous position. Light has secured 4 bases, and he has plenty of map control, map vision with spider mines, so he's not in the worst position ever. He's still got a big supply disadvantage, but Terran on this many bases is against Protoss is, you know, that's scary. He can still, he's still a very dangerous opponent right now. If Mini takes some bad engagements, then the game will be pretty much even right back up. Alright, we saw 3 shuttles get loaded up with some Reavers and Zealots, and I think some High Templar as well. They're skirting over there to the right-hand side of the map. And again, I think Mini is doing this little poke here on the left to try to distract Light from the real move, which is these shuttles. 2 shuttles sneaking into the main base. There's 4 turrets in position, and he's forced to drop on the supply depots, or else he would have lost those units right there. Alright, Mini is targeting these supply depots, hitting one of the supply depots so that the Scarabs hit like 4 supply depots at the same time. This is creating a big supply block for Light. You can see he's 160 out of 144 food. And again, Light is using this, I mean, not opportunity really, but just this, he sees this as a potential, like, okay, I gotta make something happen here, so he's marching forward with a large siege tank vulture contingent, and Mini has decided to counter the 3rd base of Terran with some Zealots and Dragoons. Ooh, I don't know about this move, because Light has a big army here right in front of the Protoss base. Mini's got plenty of High Templar here, but not too much like muscle. So I feel like if Light can recognize that and go forward with those speed vultures, he could probably take out a bunch of those High Templar. This little counterattack from Protoss is doing some pretty good work here. And 4 more siege tanks went to the third base. They're sieged up, knocking on the door. 3 siege tanks went to the 4th base of Protoss. So Light he's hitting like 3 positions at the same time with siege tanks. All right, we got a good zealot drop on top of these siege tanks, forcing the siege tanks to unsiege, and these ones as well. All right, these speed vultures come back in. The tanks come forward again on the 3rd base and re-siege. And now this 3rd base is gonna get destroyed here. Light is really making something happen here, you know, despite all the good moves that Mini has done. Alright, these 3 siege tanks at the 4th base are gonna get taken out. Not quite able to kill that Nexus, but that 3rd base of Protoss was destroyed. Alright, we got a bit of an engagement there that we're not looking at right now. What we are looking at is this Reaver drop that's happening at the 3rd Terran base. Light is on the move. He's unsieged all of his tanks. He's marching forward with unsieged tanks and vultures. And now he's threatening that 4th base of Protoss. Taking a good position there. We see a ton of zealots being made by Mini here. And again, he's choosing to instead of fighting this army of Light, he's sending his zealots across the map to try to do some counter pressure. Shuttles coming in again. He's gonna zealot bomb, or actually High Templar bomb these siege tanks, storming the siege tanks, but that also kind of storms his own units a little bit, forcing a lift of that command center again on the 3rd base. This is just a bloodthirsty game by both of these players. Light is now attacking that 5th base of Protoss, the low ground of that bottom left-hand location with vultures. He's forced all the probes away, and now he's going to take out that Nexus, sieging up and attempting to take control of the ramp. We see Light making good use of D-Matrix on his units during these attacks. So there's a D-Matrix down on that Goliath, and now Light is threatening this bottom left-hand base. You know, with all the units that Mini has taken across the map, I don't think he quite has enough to defend his bottom left-hand base. And actually, if he loses that bottom left base, he doesn't have too much to work with. And in fact, I'm looking now, Mini is down 40 supply, 50 supply below the Terran. Holy crap, I can't believe Light swung this game around in such a way. As it was happening, I couldn't believe it, but now that I still can't believe it. Alright, Mini is trying to make something happen here at the 4th base, but that's it. Mini GG's. Holy crap, Light just showed some incredible play there under pressure with that DT run by and the huge storm drop. Light has somehow come out on top. You know, if I can kind of reflect on the game just a little bit here, I think, you know, he played really well under pressure. He set up some great turrets at all of his critical positions. There was that time when the 2 shuttles tried to come into the main base, but there were 4 turrets at the bottom right-hand corner of Light's base, forcing Mini to drop in a, not the best position. And I think the other thing that Light did really, really well was continue expanding, right? He matched the Protoss in terms of the number of bases, and I think he got ahead at one point, maybe taking the 4th or 5th base a little earlier than the Protoss. Usually the Terran is down a base or 2 against Protoss, but Light was staying right on par, and even though he lost a lot of SCVs to some of these harassment moves,